Coral Reefs. Written by Megan Cooley Peterson. A city under the sea. A coral reef is like a colorful city under the sea. Plants and animals work together in this underwater ecosystem. Let's dive into life on a coral reef. The Great Barrier Reef in Australia can be seen from space. Hundreds of thousands of kinds of plants and animals live on coral reefs. Sea slug, flamingo tongue snail. What is a coral? Corals look like plants, but they are really animals made up of tiny coral polyps. Corals are related to jellyfish. Coral polyp. Coral polyps divide to make more polyps, forming colonies. Hard coral polyp. Tentacle. Coral polyps sting plankton and other tiny animals with their tentacles. Then they eat them. Mouth. Food enters through the mouth. The mouth is also where waste leaves the coral. Stomach. Reef builders. More than 700 kinds of hard corals help build coral reefs. Hard coral polyps make limestone skeletons. These skeletons make up most of a reef. Living corals grow on top of the skeletons. Thousands of kinds of plants and animals live on coral reefs. Soft corals are different from hard corals. Soft corals look like colorful plants swaying in the water. They don't make limestone skeletons. Coral reefs may grow for thousands of years. Algae. Algae help build coral reefs. These plants help glue the reef together. Some algae live inside hard corals. They help feed corals. The algae that live in hard corals need lots of sunlight. They turn energy from the sun into food for the corals. When water temperatures rise, hard corals can lose their helper algae. Algae give hard corals their color. Without algae, corals lose their color. Some corals may die. How coral reefs form. Strong ocean storms can break off pieces of a coral colony. These pieces are carried away. Coral larvae float through the ocean. They attach to something hard and begin to grow. They may grow in new places. New coral reefs also form in other ways. Large corals grow very slowly. Most only grow about 0.8 inch, 2 centimeters in a year. Where coral reefs grow. Most coral reefs grow in warm, shallow ocean water. Some reefs grow along the shore. Others grow away from land. Corals need warm temperatures to grow. Coral reefs are found all around the world near the equator. Equator. Coral reefs. Kinds of coral reefs. Coral reefs are named for where they grow. Fringing reefs. A fringing reef grows close to the shore. It is usually the smallest kind of reef. Fringing reef. Barrier reefs. A barrier reef grows away from the shore. A lagoon sits between a barrier reef and the shore. Australia's Great Barrier Reef is the world's largest system of coral reefs. It stretches for 1,400 miles, 2,250 kilometers. Barrier Reef. Atolls. An atoll is a coral reef in the shape of a ring. A lagoon sits in the middle of an atoll. How atolls form. 1. Most atolls begin as a fringing reef wrapped around an island. 2. The island slowly sinks under the ocean surface. The fringing reef becomes a barrier reef. 3. The barrier reef becomes an atoll once the island disappears underwater. A lagoon forms in place of the island. New islands sometimes form on top of atolls. Plants and coral reefs. Mangrove trees and seagrass beds grow near coral reefs. These plants help clean the water near reefs. They also give reef animals places to hide. Mangrove tree roots hold down mud and keep it from choking the corals. Many reef fish hatch in mangrove roots and seagrass beds. The young fish stay safely hidden while they grow. Coral reef feeders. Many ocean creatures find food and homes in a coral reef. They eat the corals, algae, and other animals that grow on the reef. Many kinds of sponges live on coral reefs. The yellow tube sponge pumps water through the walls of its body. This animal cleans the water by eating bacteria and tiny bits of floating food. Yellow tube sponge. Crown of thorns starfish eat coral polyps. Too many of these starfish on one reef can kill the reef. Sea slugs have a ribbon of teeth on their undersides. As they crawl along the reef, the teeth scrape off food. The long-nosed filefish plucks off coral polyps with its pointed mouth. The blue parrotfish's sharp beak scrapes algae from the reef. Coral reef hunters. Chomp. Coral reef hunters eat animals that feed on the reef. Stonefish have lumpy bodies that look like stones. They blend in with the reef. When fish swim by, the stonefish gobble them up. Moray eels hide in reef cracks and wait for fish. The fish don't spot them until it's too late. Hawksbill sea turtles eat coral reef sponges. Cuttlefish are related to squid and octopuses. Cuttlefish change colors to match the reef. They hide from prey. Gray reef sharks often swim near coral reefs. They hunt the hunters. They eat fish, squid, shrimp, and lobsters. Working together. Some animals work together on a coral reef. They keep each other safe and clean. They might even share a home. Shrimp and goby fish live together on the reef. The shrimp digs a burrow. The goby guards their shared home. Clownfish live in animals called sea anemones. Clownfish fight other fish that try to eat the anemone. The anemone's tentacles sting the predators. Special slime covers a clownfish's body and protects it from anemone stings. Cleaner wrasse fish eat parasites off the bodies of fish. Cleaner wrasses even remove unwanted guests from fish's mouths. Why we need coral reefs. Coral reefs provide food and homes for many ocean animals. Reef animals feed millions of people. Coral reefs keep people and coasts safe by slowing down strong ocean waves. About half of the world's coral reefs are under threat. The National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration, NOAA, works to save coral reefs. You can help save coral reefs. If you visit a coral reef, do not touch it. Take photos instead. Scientists find new kinds of coral reef plants and animals every day. They still have much to learn about these important underwater ecosystems.